Good evening. I'm going to call the Columbia County Board of Commissioners November 1st, 2022 meeting to order. Bear with me. I'll open this with an invocation. Gracious Father, we praise you and thank you for all the many blessings that you continue to bestow on Columbia County and the greater Augusta area. Thank you so much for the first responders and all the men and women who go downrange to protect us. I pray now that you be with us through this meeting. Wisdom and guide us in the right decisions. In Christ's name. Amen. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Republic. Nation. God. Visible. Records show we have a full quorum of commissioners. Commissioners, you have the minutes from the October 18th, 2022 meeting in your packet. For approval, I'll accept the motion to do so.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Pass. Johnson, anything else we need to add to the agenda?
Just one item to bring to your attention, Mr. Chairman. That'd be one item regarding a real estate matter to executive session would be an addition.
Well, we have one presentation from Blackburn to talk about the CDB. So, Shelley, please come on up.
Evening. It's a pleasure to be back this year to offer an update on all things tourism. On my way over, I was trying to calculate how long I've been involved with this organization. My memory serves me right. I've been around the CVB for 15 years now, believe it or not, which is crazy because I don't feel nearly old enough to have been in this organization that long, but I have, and I'm so excited to say that tonight is the best report we've given to you since the inception of the organization as far as the outlook on tourism in Columbia County. So I can't wait to share the numbers with you tonight. So we operate as Visit Columbia County. We serve as the community asset responsible for promoting Columbia County as an attractive destination and enhancing its public image as a dynamic place to live and work. We're going to just jump straight into the data because it's so good. I want to share a lot of it with you today. But for the better part of the last decade, we've stood up here and we've talked about how we rank compared to other Georgia counties. And so consistently, we've ranked 27th. But I'm pleased to share with you tonight that as of the 2021 data, we have moved up 3 spots. So we are now ranked the 24th county in the state of Georgia, which puts us in the top 15th percentile. So we're very excited about that number. And we hope to see that continue to move up the ranks as tourism grows in our area. We do know that our local tourism industry in Columbia County supports 2,400 jobs. And in 2021, the total direct visitor spending was $183 million. As a result of that, each of our Columbia County households saved $282 last year because taxes were offset left in our county by visitors. We are strictly funded by the lodging tax collection. As you all know, our organization receives 40% of that, the other 60% back into the county hotel motel fund. And you'll see the green is indicating how we're doing this year, so we're off to a great start. But if you look at the last fiscal year, you'll see we did really well. And that dark blue is the numbers from 21 to 22. There was a really big bump in March and April. We'll talk about that on the next slide and why we saw that in March and April of this year. But year over year collections increased by 76%. We collected $1.7 million in lodging tax this past fiscal year compared to $965,000 the year prior. What that means is that $1 million was in the county hotel motel fund and our organization received $680,000. So we'll talk about that big bump that we saw in March and April, those large increases. As you all know, the definition of income changed in July of 2021 to include short-term home rentals. And you'll see year-round, we have collected funding from short-term home rentals, but in the month of March, we collected $227,000. In the month of April, $160,000. In the dark blue, you'll see where we are year-to-date, and we're already off to a really great start for July and August of this year as well. So to put that into perspective, short-term home rentals alone generated nearly $600,000 in lodging tax this past fiscal year. We've never been able to track this number because we did not collect the tax prior to July 2021 when the state law changed. So it's been really great for us to see the impact that this market does have on our tourism industry here in Columbia County. You'll see the increase to both our budget and to the hotel motel fund. And because we're able to track that data, we do know that total revenue generated by short-term home rentals last fiscal year was nearly $12 million. That's huge. That's a big piece of the visitor economy that we've never been able to track before.
So about $12 million, Airbnb.
Correct. So we're any third party, or it could be
Master's
smaller.
House Rentals.
Yeah.
Correct. So we know that total revenue was nearly $12 million. I get this question very often. Or how often do people really come into town and stay in homes, and how many homes are really available? We actually subscribe to a service called AirDNA, and they only track really large third-party companies such as Airbnb, VRBO. They do not track smaller regional master's rental companies. So what you're seeing here is specific to Airbnb, VRBO, and similar companies to that. But on any given night, just shy of 500 homes are available to be rented to visitors in our county. You'll see the big spike there in April. And also what I find very interesting is that on any given night, the average occupancy is nearly 44%. As you know, hotel occupancy is very important to us. We like to see the 60% mark as our benchmark because we know that's when our hotels are really starting to make money. So you'll see we had 2020, we understood why that happened with canceled events and with COVID, but we're off to a good start this year. We also had a great year last year. We do know the last fiscal year, the average occupancy for the year was 68%, which is great. It was above the 60% mark. You will see occupancy is down just a smidge this year, but happy to report that the average daily rate for our hotels has gone up, which is a great sign of an economy that's recovering. The average daily rate tanked in 2020, and so it slowly started to grow and to get back to those pre-pandemic numbers. So we're thrilled to see that happening. So essentially what you're seeing here is that our hoteliers might have rented fewer rooms year to date, but they're getting them at a higher rate. So their revenue is up by 20%. So we're really excited to see that number continue to grow as well. Had a lot of really big wins this year, and if I were to stand up here and talk about all of them, we'd be here all night, and I promised Commissioner Melier we would get out of here quick tonight. So
Generally, everybody gets 5 minutes to speak.
5 minutes. Oh gosh,
We're gonna
I thought
give
it
you
was
7.
10. So we had a lot of great wins this year, a lot of success throughout our organization, but we do know that we were able to book, sponsor, or service a total of 41 events. And if we have to put a dollar figure to that, the economic impact we estimate is over $3 million. So what's next for us? Our board just approved last week a brand new strategic plan. This will outline our plans for the next 3 years moving forward. We'll really be focusing on these 3 main areas that you see here, marketing and expanding tourism economy. I think if we've seen anything tonight, it's that our tourism economy is certainly expanding. We'll continue marketing initiatives in the next 3 years to continue to see that grow. Expanding and enhancing the visitor experience. This is very similar to projects that you've seen throughout our product development initiatives, such as the Lovelock sculpture, our paddle trail, and coming soon, a land trail program that we will be in. And last but not least, advocacy, sustainability, image, and awareness. We are actually going to be rebranding, developing a new website, and we are even going to be bringing a mobile visitor center to Columbia. We have a lot of really great things planned for the year to come. We can't wait to come back next year and update you on the growth that we've seen. I think that was 10 minutes, but that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them at this time.
You guys do a great job. Thank you. Have the consent agenda in front of you. The items on the consent agenda have been through the necessary committees and received the necessary votes to be placed on this consent agenda. So if they still meet with your approval, I'll accept one motion and vote to approve them all.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. On to new business. Commissioner Gailey.
Yes, sir. I make a motion to approve the 2022 NJCAA Division I Women's Soccer Championship contract.
Second.
Here, do you want to give a quick update?
Yes, sir. This contract is with the NJCAA for the Division I Women's Soccer Championship contract. When we brought it to committees, we did not have the completed contract back yet from the NJCAA. So we got that back shortly thereafter, have reviewed that contract. And this is the second event that we're hosting with them, and this contract is in line with the first contract that we had.
Questions? There's a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries. Thank you, sir. Legal matters,
No legal matters.
no request for review by committee. There's one person that want to make a public comment, Mr. Prasad. Would just state your name and address for the record, and please take 5 minutes to tell us what.
How you doing? My name is Naveen Prasad. You should know Gary, Mr. Gary. You guys should know why I'm here. It's still leaking in front of my house. It's been 4 years now.
What is your address?
4555 Willie Daniel Drive. Duncan, I spoke to you about this in your office a couple of years ago, about this problem. Last time we spoke, sue the county. Tired of it. It's been 4 years. I've been dealing with this.
Sorry, you said, I told you to sue the county?
Yeah. You
Failed
did.
to recall that, but keep going.
Okay, well, that's what you told me. That's what I recall. Also, it's been 4 years now. I know you guys are, there's nothing I could do. I have water leaking in my basement. My backyard is washing away because of this problem. I spent X amount of money, over $40,000 for my backyard, and it's all washing away still. I have your guys' number. I called multiple times. I get no reply. I'm sure your secretary, tells you guys say next year, street is on the agenda to be fixed and stuff like that. My concrete is breaking in my driveway. The HOA is complaining about me. There's water that's leaking from the street down into my concrete, cracking up my driveway. If I fix the driveway, it's gonna break again. So I don't know what else to do.
Matt, can you update us? What's the story?
Been out multiple times. I've been out there myself. Mr. Vice Chair Richardson's been out there. Kyle Titus has been, Stacy Gordon, Nathan McDaniel's been out there. We have a groundwater issue. I thought it could have been the water line leaking. We've tested that multiple times. Nathan, 6 or 7 times, I think we've tested the water. It is not testing as county water. We test for fluoride. It's not meeting the levels of county water. We've potholed. It is groundwater. We put a French drain in front of Mr. Prasad's house in the road to try to alleviate that groundwater. It is flowing. It is catching water. It is flowing it out to the back. It was last time I was there with you.
Still leaking, it's still coming up from the road.
So we have a French drain, but it's groundwater. I guess there's a natural spring there. I don't know where the head of it is, but it's groundwater that runs through his yard. We put a French drain in. I don't know what else to do to keep groundwater out of his property. House sits below the road. He mentioned the road is in the line for reworking. It is there, the road itself. Get that on your list, Mr. Titus. Y'all be getting that list very soon to approve for applying for the funding. We do that. I don't know. That's not going to solve his groundwater issue. Groundwater. Where it's coming from, I don't know. Where it's going, I do know. It's going downhill through his yard into the back of the house. No denying that. I don't know how to fix groundwater. Put the French drain in. Know what else to do.
The water's still coming up from the street. Not if you put the French drain, but it's in front of,
Legally, help me. There is no?
Lawyers over there, that's,
You know, I have not been apprised of the situation, so I'd have to look at it. I mean, if there's easements involved, if it's water that's going through our system or not, or if it's just truly just water from a natural spring near his house or whatever, that's not
Also,
our
the-
responsibility.
also the stormwater drain in front of my house. Catches the
Go when it was
runs down
raining
the
one
hill.
time, do I remember that?
out there several times.
You build your house, sir? Or you
It was built.
existing when you moved in? How long you been there?
It's a brand new house, since, 2017.
17?
Mhm.
It was, immediately
Yeah,
started time you,
already built and everything.
We did a tremendous amount of work, Stormwater did a tremendous work out 3 or 4 years ago, in 2 or 3 years, I guess.
No, it's
The,
always been happening. It's just that I always get told one thing, and then months go by, somebody comes out, oh, we'll come back again, we'll do this or whatever. It's a continuing thing since I moved in. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand.
Sir, when you purchased this house, was there a declaration of conditions in your real estate contract?
Yes, there's a natural way in the back, and, can't touch it, you gotta be.
So there was nothing in the declaration about this then?
No,
About a water problem?
New house, I would.
The new house?
house, yes.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that you had moved into it, that you were the second owner.
Oh,
Okay.
As far as getting in the yard and fixing, I don't know how we have the authority to get in his yard and do any kind of work.
I'm giving you guys authority, like I told you guys you could dig up my yard.
I understand.
My concrete is cracked, my HOA, it's like, I have to fix the concrete. Water, I mean, Matt, the water going under my concrete into my driveway. Even if I fix the concrete, it's still gonna
Right, if you don't,
happen
you're not
again.
fixing the problem.
And now, the whole driveway is, starting to crack. It's starting to become a problem. Basement, accumulating now in my basement. Right? I called my insurance company. They came out. As soon as they came out, it was like, look, there's water coming from the street. I'm in a predicament, like, what can I do? I already spent thousands of dollars, and I have to redo my backyard for the 3rd time. And this is 4 years now. I'm asking for help.
What I'm hearing is
And as
they don't know what
soon-
help to give.
Well, I don't know, what's the water table or anything. I mean, okay, water's on the street. How are you gonna stop the water from the street?
What I've been saying, we put the French drain in the street. Put a French drain in. Catches water. Problem is, that's not the only place there's water. There's water in his yard. There's water behind his house. There's groundwater everywhere, and I can't put French drain on
So
private
it's
property.
like his house was built on top of a
I can
stream.
show you right now, the water is still on the street, coming up from the
road's
street.
like this, and his house sits back here, and it falls.
Falls straight down to his
from-
house,
from
his
the
yard.
road.
Large draw behind his house where all rainwater flows backyard, not right behind his house, but his backyard has a somewhat flat area, then it drops down pretty steep. Natural draw, a lot of water moving through there.
I'll be glad to show you some pictures so you can see it.
Sure. Again, what I'm feeling or hearing here is somebody give me a solution, or we don't have one.
If I had a solution, we'd have implemented it a long time ago. I think we've done everything that we can think to do. I've had 4 engineers look at it, and all 4 engineers have come up with the same idea. We've tried it. Not happy with our solution.
There's water still
Come up with the, same thing we've done. That's it.
I'll be glad to show
French
you.
drain in his front yard, is it the front yard, or is it in the street, right?
In the road,
How does that,
Can I show you the French drain and the water still leaking after they put it in?
The developer of the neighborhood have any kind of responsibility for
probably,
this?
I'd be shocked.
No.
Long gone.
Those and then, solve it when they finish. That's usually. Sure, just pass it up here. Again, if there's something, if there's an answer, let's do it, and if there's not, I don't know what to tell you. To the French.
So when it rains, you can actually see the water coming over top of the French drain into your yard.
That's a spring, well, I say it's spring. I'm not qualified to give you an opinion. Again, I don't know what to tell you. Actually, it's under the street, it looks like.
We dug up the road. We have found water in the road where the French drain was installed. Not denying there's water in,
But it's coming up.
groundwater coming in. French drain in the road where the problem was, where we saw the problem. After we did that, Mr. Prasad came back and told us that the problem had moved. It's now in his, if you're thinking his house, on the right side of his house, down the sideline. We went out there and met with him and walked, and it's very wet down there. Not denying it at all. Don't know how
It's
we
on
could.
both sides. It's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always been on both sides.
Right, but you told me that when we did this, it got
Oh, yeah,
worse on
because
the right
first,
side.
the stormwater pipe, remember, it dropped low and you guys had to come and tar it over. Coming down, running in front of my driveway, in front of my yard, down the side, and that's on the right side. Now, the water, all the water that's coming out top of the driveway, going into, under my driveway and down the left side, whole backyard, literally you cannot walk, all mushy, and then when it rains, fucking, I can show you videos of how it looks.
Let me ask a question. How was it? Crazy question. How was it a week ago? Same thing?
Yeah, it's still leaking. I can show you pictures, right?
You don't have to. I just answered my own question. I'm trying to, it hadn't rained in weeks,
It's like this.
so it's
all-
groundwater.
What about the neighbors
the
on
time.
either side of you? Did they have problems also?
Yeah. I mean, but it's my backyard is getting affected the most.
You're the lowest on the block.
I'm the lowest, and also my neighbor, right? You know, we're both getting affected, but I'm the one getting affected the most. Because when it comes into his yard, at the corner, it runs into my yard. Also.
Did make, as Mr. Richardson mentioned, we did go back and make some changes to the system that runs on the left side of his house. Turned some junction boxes into weir traps to get some of that water into our
For
system.
that.
That was 3 or 4 years ago when that was done.
Well, the last time when you guys came, stormwater was there and covered. It's supposed to be a drainage, but it was covered. Then you guys came in and put the drain, but the place was already graded, so the water or anything doesn't even go into the drain, really. Because, I mean, remember my sprinkler line was, I didn't know until like a sewer cap right there. You know, I mean, a groundwater cap cover. I was like, covered. And, oh, there's supposed to be a drainage here. Well, my line runs right over the middle of it, grass over it. Came in, they put a drain in, but it was
Help me-
already
help me
graded.
out.
No water or
Update.
anything goes down there.
4 years ago.
But we put it in and didn't fix it? Drain didn't drain?
I guess what
The
he's,
land was already graded, so when they put in the drain, like, the water would not even go into the drain. The drain was covered up, so all they did is just put a grate on it, but the land was already graded. I mean, the ground is already graded. The water not directed to go into that.
How about your yard was already graded?
Huh?
County property.
yard,
Your yard was already graded.
graded and sodded, grass grown.
Right. And even like, as I said, the cap, that was covered up. And then, 3-4 years ago, that's when they put in the drain because they realized it's supposed to be a drain there.
That was your builders doing that.
I don't know who did it, but but the sewer line and everything was there. I asked, but I asked about, if everything got approved, who approved it and stuff like that. And obviously the county approved it, when they put in because it was already there and they covered up, so.
Unless somebody has an answer for you, I certainly don't have one. If there was one, we'd do it.
So there's nothing you guys can do.
I'm at the end of my road, but my ideas.
There's water coming up from the street. Who's gonna take care of that?
Your property.
It's on the
If it's a
street.
If it's a spring,
It's on the road, on the street, a public street.
We have a plan to repair the road. Full depth reclamation, I'm assuming there. Then more drainage up the road. I mean, the road is not an issue, that we worked on the road. I cannot get down, but the road is way above his house.
Yeah.
If there's groundwater coming out of the ground at his house, there's nothing I can do way up here that solves the problem way down here. Doesn't work like that.
I understand
I'm
the
only
downhill
catching-
principle.
Well, it's,
My property's high, my county property's the high ground, his property is low ground. Not a whole lot I can do on county property that fixes the water at the low property.
If it's coming in lower than the street, is what
Correct.
I'm saying.
Correct.
Because even
Let's
when it,
figure out a way to do what we can with the street.
it's not coming like from low, it's coming from up on high, up on the hill, and it's all washing down.
About this,
Not on the
let's
road.
figure out what we can do with the street, best we can, to stop the water at the street. Because at that point, then if you still got water, you have water, then it's the springs that are further down the hill. I mean, I've dealt with it before as a child digging holes, come across a spring and it fills with water. So, I mean, I get that.
For all due respect, it's been 4 years now. It's not like no one didn't know about it.
Well, all due respect, I think the county's done a lot of things.
do too.
Kinda- We've gone
Been
over
a
trying
tremendous
to
amount of
we'll
work.
do
do
too.
anything we can to try to fix it.
And, okay, but it's breaking my driveway. It's cracking up my driveway. What, I don't understand. What can I do? I'm trying to make it easy. I'm trying to make it like, hey, it's been 4 years. I'm trying to do what I gotta do. I don't want my house washing away. I got puddles of water in my basement, right?
All I can
There's
commit,
water
to you- I'll commit,
coming in.
we're gonna fix,
Water in my
we're gonna
driveway.
fix the road.
Plans in action. You will be voting on an agenda item next week.
Now, if I fix my driveway, because of HOA, that's me, like, I have to fix my driveway, all right? And it cracks again because of the water, who's gonna take care of that?
Gonna work on the road and do the best we can to fix whatever that is on the road. But if it's coming in lower than the road, then it's on you.
I think our legal responsibility is the road.
So
I
let's
would
just say
like-
this, I wouldn't tell the HOA, you're not gonna do anything. This is, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not giving advice, but I'd tell them, I'm gonna wait till the county does their
A
job.
finance guy.
Wait till the county does what they can do. That's
I
what
mean,
I'd tell them.
But and it's getting worse.
Even then, I'm not sure it's gonna work at this point.
I know, but I'm saying, it's been years now, and it's getting worse and worse. And it's only this year you guys came out and put a drain in. But all the other time, the road is sinking. The stormwater, where you guys put the stormwater pipe, all right, it goes diagonally in front of my house, it's dropping. That dropped.
I recommend you tell them that you're not gonna do anything until the county fixes what it's
I
gonna.
just want to clarify the 4 years. When he called us 4 years ago, we responded. We made changes.
I
to
know,
the system.
I remember, and actually, I remember.
He has not been calling every day for the last 4 years. When Mr. Prasad made contact with me again, we have been back out there at his house. I just want to make sure that's very clear that we have not been just ignoring him for 4 years.
So let's do this. When
Oh,
we
no,
have
no,
a
I do
sched-
what,
when-
I do what I
Thank you,
told.
thank you.
I
It's-
call groundwater or whoever.
Thank
So
you.
I know it's not like 4 years, I'm calling you guys every day, but it's 4 years I'm dealing with this problem.
Yes, sir, thank you.
About it.
I appreciate your comments. As soon as we have a plan with the road, we let him know what it is, and he knows the time schedule.
Yeah, he said next year, I know that, but is there anything you could do now?
No.
No.
Nothing. Okay.
Chairman, I would like to say, I've been out multiple times myself, and I've met Dr. Titus, Mr. Holloway, Mr. Stormwater, Mike Zonner. we have put a tremendous amount of time into this property. It's not like we're neglecting the problem. We've done everything that we can possibly do at this point. If we take the road down and open it up, and we may be able to convert at that time, we'll do that, but we have not neglected this man.
No, actually, I agree with that. I remember meeting with him now. But that said, it's a stormwater issue. Don't wait till we vote on whatever it is for it to happen next year. Do what we can do. I mean, I respect that. But also, if it's in his property, I also understand everybody's property if it's some private property. Okay. We do have an executive session, and I do believe we have a couple of issues we have to discuss about property in there, so have a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into the executive.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
I'm not gonna do that to you. Not gonna do that to you.
There's still people here. We have public that hung in with us. Alex, what?
Mr. Johnson, you want to educate everyone on our executive session?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we discussed one item in executive session. That item has not been closed or abandoned. I believe you have some further business to do.
I do. We have some motions. It's Vice Chairman Richardson.
I make a motion to approve $157,100 to Stratford Community Association, Inc., parcel number 071G444 to obtain right-of-way and/or easements for the Hardy McManus Road widening project.
Second.
Questions? Favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
Make a motion to accept a portion of parcel 078748 from Magnolia Trace LP to obtain right-of-way and/or easements for Butterfield Fort Detention Pond Extension Project.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, raise your right hand.
I make a motion to accept a portion of parcel 078G6 from Fox Creek Homeowners Association, right-of-way and/or easements for the Maramara Drive Stormwater Improvement Project.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, raise your right hand.
I make a motion to approve $525,000 to Alan and Kemi Nordhoff for parcel 050012B for expansion of the water utility.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. On to Commissioner Malier.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the amended agreement for the purchase and sale for the Charles and Hannelore Garner property for parcels 082E15 and 082E015A.
Questions? All in favor, raise your right hand.
Get a second.
Oh,
yeah.
second, sorry, I'm just rapid fire.
Waiting on
Se- Anybody want a second?
Y'all,
Second.
Righty. All in favor, raise your right hand. You abstained, sorry, 4-1. Cheese and crackers.
You abstained or you voted against it?
Opposed.
You opposed it?
I think I used the word abstain. All righty, well, since we have to vote against it, can you give us one more motion for the evening?
Yes, sir, one remains. Mr. Chairman, I motion that we adjourn for the evening.
All in favor, raise your right hand. We're adjourned.